7 low-calorie snacks that I like to eat when I'm trying to diet down. So essentially, if I'm in a cutting phase. To begin with, some of this is definitely subjective because what I may consider low calorie or what may be low calorie for me in the way that I eat may not be for you, or could even potentially be entirely too low calorie. Some of these might be for what you would consider to be a snack on your diet. With that said, it's just my own personal advice, guys, and just kind of like my style and kind of like how I approach snacks. With that said, let's get into the video. Number one, and probably the most boring thing on this list, fruit. About 100 calories worth, maybe slightly more than 100 calories. So things like bananas, oranges, tangerines, or, things like these guys. And then, of course, apples. These are the three things that I pretty much keep stocked inside of my kitchen at all times. The minute I start seeing these getting kind of low, then I go ahead and I place an order and I keep these kind of restocked because for me, number one, fructose in
What was that?
particular, if I'm trying to get into the gym very quickly and I just want a little boost of energy, I want a little bit more in the tank in terms of carbohydrates to push me through the workout. This does a really good job. You can make the argument that, hey, just have some rice on hand or, have some potato on hand, any of those type of things, right? But I will say that fruit is very fast acting and it's definitely gives you kind of that nice little sweet subtleness to it that kind of maybe curtails some of the other things that you'll chase and you'll want. Number 2 on my list. This one's important for me because this is all about late night and trying to make sure that I don't go crazy if I'm staying up past like 9 p.m. That's the danger zone for me when it comes to snacks. It's past 9 p.m. I better have something here to kind of curtail myself or else it's going to get ugly. Pickles. 0 calorie. Pickles. I know this is crazy. I know some people don't like the combination of kind of like the salty and the like kind of tanginess, that vinegary kind of taste here, the dill and pickles. For me, I love it just because it doesn't taste, the taste isn't that awful to me. And then number 2, it's just no calories. Like it's just a really great kind of like, okay, let me kick my sodium up just a teeny tiny bit. Maybe I'm just a little bit low on my electrolytes. That could be potentially what's going on here. It may just be that I need some water or, maybe I just need some volume. And this is what this will provide. A little bit of volume for my stomach without the calories. Hey, it's on my rotation. I don't know about other people. Number 3. Number 3 for me is going to be an old staple here. That's yogurt. Yogurt because I can top it with fruit if I want to. Yogurt because I could top it with rice cakes if I want to. I could put, pretty much anything I want in here. Say I want some snacks. Say that I like, Butterfinger. So I get the Butterfinger like bits or bites, whatever they're called, right? I can top that in here and I can measure that out to meet my caloric goals, right? To state my caloric goals, guys, on a snack, I try to be under 300, somewhere in that area, 300 or below. Sometimes some of these might come out to be like maybe 310, 320. I don't sweat over that, but just generally speaking, a snack to me is around 300, calories or less is basically what I aim for. So yogurt to me, just because of the versatility of what you can do with yogurt. Number 4, popcorn. And I got 2 examples of the popcorn I eat. Number 1, this is the higher calorie one, but it tastes so freaking good. Okay, this is Boom Chicka Pop. This is sweet and salty kettle corn for 28 grams, which comes out to 2 cups, so less volume than what I'm going to show you in a second. 140 calories. Then if I transition over here to Lesser Evil, so this is their buttery flavor popcorn Himalayan Gold. For 3 cups or 28 grams, it's the same amount of grams, different volume, right? 3 cups versus 2 cups, 120 calories versus 140 calories. These I love because like most of the time I can get by with a single serving. I will admit sometimes this one right here, I will kick it up to an additional cup and I got to add in about another 70 calories. So this comes up to 210 calories. Nonetheless, guys, I'm firmly under 200 calories 300 calories. My bad. Let me see if my math is mathing today. But there we go. I mean, boom, just like that. It curves this gives me the sweetness, more savory. Both work for me, guys. Both work for me. All right. Number 5. Number 5 for me is some form of basically rice cakes in particular because rice cakes to me are the thing that kind of really help me starve stuff off and like I can just use it for everything. So rice cakes for me is like these guys right here. Like I can take this, I can crumble this up if I just have the plain like salt kind and I can put that inside of a salad, right? So in place of croutons. And I love this because only one rice cake's only 50 calories, right? I could take 2 of these bad boys, kick it up to 100 calories, and I can put, yogurt on top of this. I can put my PB Fit on top of it, right? Remove the fat, 60 calories for 2 tablespoons of this, 1 serving. So 160 calories if I just do peanut butter on it. Or I could add a little jelly to it, right? So now I'm around 200 some calories for it. If I add the jelly with the peanut butter, 1 serving of each, and then I add 2 of these rice cakes, boom, about 200 some calories on that one now. With that said, I mean, to me, this really curtails the sweet tooth. Like if you really have a problem with sweet products, abstaining is probably the best thing in the world for you. I mean, you probably should abstain until, it will reside, it will pass. Cravings will pass. I mean, I promise you, if you just don't give in to them, they do pass. But I will say that, like, sometimes when I'm trying to, like, there are periods where I'm working out really hard. I have a weird effect on my body to where, for whatever weird reason, like in the moment, maybe the next day or something like that, it'll spike my hunger. But in the moment when I'm really working hard, I have a hard time eating, actually. It actually becomes difficult for me to eat. And like little things like this, these little sweet victories where I can put some peanut butter and jelly on a rice cake, or 2, and get me, 200 calories, win-win. The other thing I'll use is these little guys here, these like little kind of crisp things. So these are Rice Crisp. So for 16 pieces or 28 grams, very common thread to 28 grams, guys, 110 calories. I will normally double these up, and I'll get double the servings here for 220 calories on these bad boys, and there's a little snack for me. So 5 down, right? Number 6, peanut butter and jelly, okay? You could put it on a rice cake, like I said. You could put it on bread. If you put it on bread, then you're going to start trending towards 300 calories. There's no doubt about it. However, if you take 2 tablespoons of this, okay, 60 calories, put water. You're just using water, so that way you're removing the oil. That's why you're able to stay, in a really nice caloric area. Some jelly, you can even reduce this. I would say that if you went with a sugar-free, this is probably 20 or 30 calories compared to 50 calories per serving. So you'll take these 2 together, and then you add your bread. Your bread's probably going to be about 120 calories, 150 calories, depends on the bread you're using. There are some lower, calorically, breads out there that you can get, but, I don't really pay that close attention because I don't eat bread like that. As a matter of fact, right now, I don't even have bread in my cabinet. So I do make bread. I like to make bread from scratch, but I don't have anything available, and I don't eat bread a whole lot just because bread can kind of tilter me. If I start to gain like weight, not that it's fat per se, but like retention of water, bread does seem to be like one of those things that does that for me personally. But 6, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Number 7, and this one is more adventurous, in the kitchen, right? This involves you kind of doing your own thing, which is to take some Rice Krispie treats, okay? And you can even take Rice Krispie treats and you can put them in some Fairlife, measure out your calories, keep it under 300, right? Boom, there you go. So a single serving of this, guys, is 150 calories for a serving, which is 1.5 cups, guys, or 40 grams of this, okay? Or you could take this and you can combine it with these Max Mellows, so 0 sugar marshmallows, okay? These are expensive as crap, guys, just so you know. All right, and then for basically 16 grams, you're getting 15 calories. There's roughly 6 servings of this in there, so you're still talking about under 100 calories for this entire bag. For me, I mean, Rice Krispie treats, guys. You take these 2 together, and you're making Rice Krispie treats. That's what you're making out of these. You can make some like kind of like protein, Rice Krispie treats here. You could just make a lower calorie, you don't have to add protein powder. Say you're just really worried about the calories more than you're worried about the protein on it. Then you just make a low-calorie version of Rice Krispie treats, essentially. For me, these are 7 things that I use to starve off my hunger, to satisfy really more than anything that sweet tooth, because I know everyone is different in the things that, like, like some people might be like, man, like, when people tell you to eat like potatoes, like I mash my potatoes, like mashed potatoes, I can't control myself, right? For other people, it could be other little things here and there, Maybe they like some really good fatty cuts of meat, like those ribeyes and stuff. And they're like, hey, you know what? I know they say the fat, along with the protein kind of curtails your hunger, but man, I could throw down some ribeyes. Those aren't me. I mean, it's pretty easy for me to maintain my caloric deficit if I'm eating things like steak. It's really hard for me to overeat on that. With that said, sugar, sweets, that's my Achilles heel personally, and I've had to learn how to control it. I do things that I never did in my youth. In my 40s now, I actually measure and weigh. I do use my scale, guys. I pick up my scale and I will measure and weigh out what is going on. So that way I know exactly how many calories, or at least a rough estimate. We can always say that, we're trusting that they're being accurate with these things. We get that. But to an extent, like I have some control over what I'm doing, right? I'm not just mindlessly throwing this crap down. And that's half the battle for me. I don't know about you, but for me, that is half the battle right there. All right, guys, I appreciate your time and attention. I'm a newer channel here. I would love to earn your subscription. So if you want to join this community, listen, guys, we're talking about, men who are probably over 30. If you're under 30, we'll take your subscription as well, guys. We'd love to have you. But over 30, we're talking about people who probably are on a weight loss journey. Don't need to be on a weight loss journey. You could just enjoy the content. That's fine by me. But that's, the demographic pretty much for the channel. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all. I would love to have your subscription. And with that said, guys, peace. I'm out of here.